live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm gonna start putting this show across social media. I say, screw you, trolls. You know, come and get me. I really don't care anymore. I took it off Facebook and stuff because they're troll friendly, but so the trolls have at it there. I don't care. Not afraid of you. Anyways, Joe, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Mitch. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I know that we both watched that Metallica video, the one that I was talking about the other day, the Enter Sandman, the one in Moscow from 1991. I knew that Joe didn't watch it because she didn't mention it to me, so I sent her the link to make sure that she did see it. Joe, what'd you think?
It was absolutely unbelievable. I could not believe that crowd. Do we have any clue of the number of people that were there,
I
Mitch?
don't know, but now you kind of get it, right? I know you're a country music person, right? So like this is not really your thing,
Yeah.
but you kind of get it, right?
Oh, I do actually love all music. I only started liking country 3.5 years ago.
Was it the
Before that, I
Applebee
hated it.
song that got you on it? Was it?
No, it wasn't. I actually went to the Country Music Awards in Saskatchewan and Saskatoon, and I went to a bunch of writer workshop things because I was with a country singer. So I just fell in love with the stories behind the music.
The
So before
stories.
that, I absolutely hated it. I couldn't stand country music.
But you know that most artists, especially of the big bands, they're all writers too. And I've heard this. I've heard this argument with the country people before, that people like songwriters. But you know that Steven Tyler wrote all the Aerosmith songs, right? And
Yeah,
you know that
which
Mick
is absolutely
and you
insane.
know Mick Jagger wrote all the Rolling Stones songs.
Yeah,
So it's
such talent.
yeah. I mean, Mick Jagger is a Harvard graduate, believe it or not.
I did not realize
Oh
that.
yeah,
Okay.
super smart guy. Look
Yeah.
how much money they make. I mean, crazy smart. Um, yeah, but if you look at most bands and their albums and stuff, most of them have a guy in the band. Like um, Mick Jagger writes most of his with Keith Richards, and Keith Richards has songs that he's written by himself too, on top of it, and Steven Tyler has songs that he's written with other people, and generally, but he generally writes the songs for Aerosmith too, and there's some pretty good ones in there.
Absolutely, there is so many good songs
So
by them.
many good ones.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that is just watching our Instagram live. I decided to just put a quick clip on Instagram to make sure everyone knows we're live over here on YouTube. So come on over, you guys, because I'm going to end this live right away.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why country artists seem to get that thing where they're songwriters more than anybody else. But I've seen interviews with people, and the reason I mentioned Steven Tyler because I've heard interviews of him talking about writing songs, and it's like how he does it. Like in the interview I saw with him, he was sitting down at the piano that he wrote "Dream On," and he just started showing. He's like, I started doing this. It's just like, man, as soon as I got one here, and Leonard Skinner's "Sweet Home Alabama." The guy came up with the guitar riff. One of the guys from the band came up with the guitar riff for "Sweet Home Alabama," and Ronnie Van Zant sang the words off the top of his head, including the name "Sweet Home Alabama." Just listening to the music first time through, and they just kept it. So the whole song took 20 minutes. Peter Frampton said that he wrote his two biggest hits, "Show You the Way" and the other one, I forget the other one. He wrote those both in the same day. So it's just crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Same day. And he wrote them. He said each one of them took 45 minutes. He said those are two of the quickest songs he ever wrote.
Songwriters are absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
I can't
I mean,
believe the talent and the
of
heart
course,
that goes into them.
Carole King, probably the greatest songwriter.
Yeah. Except for some of these new songs.
Well,
There's some really
Tapestry is
really bad songs.
but Tapestry is one of the best albums that there ever was, I believe. And she also wrote James Taylor's "You Got a Friend." She's written a lot of other songs besides the ones that she sings. James Taylor said about that song, he's like, Carole King, wrote this song. She says she wrote this for me, and he's like, goes, there are worse things in the world than having to sing this song every day for the rest of your life. That's what he says when you see him in concert. It's true. But anyways, Joe, we've got a lot of good games today, and we have and there's a lot of good songs out there. We always digress into things like that, and that's part of the show. So those of you that are new watching the show, if you're expecting just straight picks wall to wall, probably not going to get that. You're going to get picks on all of the games today, but we're not like wall to wall picks. We have videos on every single game out there at both of our websites, Sports Chat Place and PickDogs.com. We have free pick write-ups on every single game, every single day. And then over at both of those sites, we have unique sets of betting tools, which are the best on the planet. I think we could take all the betting tools from every site on the internet, put them combined, and I'll put the Sports Chat Place ones, the free ones, Sports Chat Place ones, up against theirs. All of them combined. Paid, free, you name it. I'll put the Sports Chat Place against all of them. I would say that they're better. And the Pick Dogs ones, I would say, are better too.
Oh, they for sure are, Mitch.
So, and next week we have a big release. I'm doing the betting tool show now every day. I did it yesterday. It was well received at the time that I did it, but I'm going to try and do it earlier in the day. I noticed that not a lot of people saw it live, but a lot of people watched it during the day, and we got a lot of positive feedback from it because I tried to show things that I noticed that people aren't really paying that close attention to, but we have, and it's hard to wrap your arms around all of it. I understand. But we had, so there are 12 teams left in the NCAA tournament. Last night, Arkansas convincingly over Gonzaga, an overrated Gonzaga team.
What a game.
Yeah, absolutely overrated from top to bottom. They had a nice team. They were not this unbeatable force that, people had made them out to be. If anything, last year's Gonzaga team was a lot better than this year's Gonzaga team. And, we saw a team, and when Brian and I were arguing this behind the scenes, and I believe on the VIP show, it was that, they were just facing a better version of the Alabama team that whipped Gonzaga earlier this season. So
absolutely. Yeah, it was quite the game, Mitch. It really was. I couldn't believe how well Arkansas came out. And you're right, Gonzaga was just overrated.
They were just overrated. I thought Duke played really well against Texas Tech. It's the second game in a row where Duke, certainly were nip and tuck all the way and pulled it out in the end. Starting to look a little bit like a team of destiny here, but there's a few other teams in there that are going to have something to say about that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Houston, super, super impressive. Once again, they're chewing teams up and spitting them out. This was a Final Four team a year ago that came into the tournament with a 5 seed.
Yeah.
And really for no reason whatsoever, except for, because they play in the AAC. And, they're killing people.
Oh, complete domination last night.
Slaughter. At the end of the game, it's kind of like the Miami-Auburn game last week where by the end of the game, they just didn't want to play anymore. And absolutely. Michigan was absolutely exposed in that game against Villanova, just like we thought that they would. Not a very good Michigan team this year. And I was surprised that they were able to keep it that close against Villanova. Yeah. Villanova had several opportunities to put them away, and they hit the shots. It's just that Michigan hit shots on the other end to keep it, to get them back in it. But once Villanova took that once they were covering that 5-point spread, Michigan never really reeled them in. Maybe one time they reeled them in, but it was quick, and Villanova was back out in front, hitting the threes, hitting those free throws, playing defense, and putting Michigan in uncomfortable positions is really what that one was all about. So I thought that, Villanova looked pretty tough. Houston looked extremely tough. Duke, looked like they really wanted it. And who was the other one that won last night? So it was Duke.
We had Houston, Duke, Villanova, and Arkansas.
And Arkansas, who just refused to lose against Gonzaga. Once they got to the lead, they started off, Gonzaga got out to the early lead in that game. But once Arkansas reeled them in and got to the lead, they would not take no for an answer. And I thought that The rebounding by Arkansas was outstanding. 3 guys always right around the rim when the ball hit it, really blocking the Zags out, getting Chet Holmgren into foul trouble early. It didn't matter. Just didn't matter.
Mitch, who is that shorter player on Arkansas that they bring out for the free throws?
Oh, I don't know, but he hits them all.
He hits them fantastically. He got out on that court, and they just knew it. Like, get him out, get him in there. And that was, that last minute of the game, and he was hitting those perfectly.
I think we've seen some amazing dunks in this tournament.
One weird thing Michigan did, Mitch? Did you see when they sent their guy to the free throw line and the rest of the players huddled up with the coach? They didn't even surround him. He got one of the 2. I was like, why would you do that? I didn't understand that. I've never seen that.
Maybe it's something that they, maybe it's a Michigan thing. Not really sure.
I don't know. I've never seen that before. I was really confused at first.
A lot of the schools, like, they have a thing, and they do it that certain way, but I don't know. I've got premium picks in all of the games again tonight, so nice. We'll go over them here, and we'll do the best that we can. But if you buy my 3-pack tonight, I will, and you email me, Mitch@pickdogs.com, just like yesterday, I'll email you the 4th. So yesterday, the 4th was Arkansas that I emailed to people. So
beautiful.
A lot of people took advantage of it, and I'm glad because I was 3-1 on those picks yesterday. I like today's card as well. So
awesome. What do you think the best dunk of the night was, Mitch? I cut you off when you started talking about dunk.
The Arkansas, the guy with the big afro that came over the top. I mean, that was just. I think when they do the dunk, that just sends the message. It's just like it was like you're in trouble. So I know that I texted Romanelli. Let me see at what point. I think there was about 12 minutes left to go in the Arkansas-Gonzaga game, and Arkansas was up by 5 or 6, and I just texted him and I said, at what point do we say that Gonzaga is in real trouble? And he said, right now, because it was about that time, and so there's only one number 1 seed left, and it just goes to show you that it's kind of what we said at the beginning of the college basketball season this year. I think we were right on it, and it was that this is the best year of college basketball in the history of college basketball because of the super seniors, the 6th-year seniors, the ability for all of these guys to come back, and the return of fans in the stands. I mean, we forget there was no fans in the stands for last year. Hawaii, 11:59 tonight, will be removing our mask mandate. Finally, we're the last state. We're the last state to do it. We are the 50th state, and we are the last state to remove the mandate as well. But we're excited about that. For sure. I think at least a lot of people are. I think, I don't make any political stances on this show. It's not something that we do. But I will say, if you want to wear a mask, that's your prerogative. If you don't want to wear a mask, that's your prerogative. And I think it should have been that way from day one.
Absolutely.
It should be that way from day one. Just like everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we let everyone decide everything else with their health, what we put in our bodies and everything like that. So
yeah, I just like I said, we don't talk politics on these shows, but I just think that it's Williams, the guy in Arkansas, is
Williams. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that we're adults, and I think we can make decisions for ourselves. And
I made the decision to switch to oat milk today, Mitch.
Nice. I'm an almond milker. So
I normally do almond milk, but I ran out of almond milk and I had oat milk for some reason, and it's delicious.
Costco?
Yes, Costco almond milk.
So I use the Costco almond milk, the yellow box. So we have, I love it. I have it every day with my oatmeal.
Nice.
Yeah, I have the organic oatmeal with that. I don't know. I switched to eggs for a while, but kind of back on the oatmeal. I don't know.
I like it. Oatmeal's good.
I go back and forth. Sometimes I have both.
Bananas on top?
No. Just almond milk, plain, no sugar, no nothing, just plain. Yes.
Okay. I like bananas or raspberries, whichever we have around for oatmeal.
Okay. Well, the world needs Fruit Loops too. Let's get to these games.
You're calling me a Fruit Loop.
No, I didn't say that. I just said the world needs them. Because I'm sure people say, and he called Joe a Fruit Loop on the show. Did you hear him? Oh my God, he's attacking women. It's like we have a lot of women that work for this company. Just only one of them is in front of the camera. If this was other companies, they would have them all in front of the camera. It's like, believe me, we have a couple women that are smarter than any men I know. It's like, anyways.
Blow my mind, that's for sure.
We have Purdue versus St. Peter's. Cinderella rarely gets past this point.
But then can they cover?
St. Peter's has been kind of, it's kind of gone both ways. Purdue is a team that I thought could have been a number 1 seed in this tournament.
Okay.
At the beginning, they ended up being a number 3. I'm not saying that they played this season to be a number 1 seed. I'm just saying they have the talent on the roster and the type of team. I love this team that they have in the style that they don't really have a style, but to me, they've been such underachievers, by doing it this way. So I just think, that's an interesting one, but rarely does Cinderella make it past this point. When they do, well, then look out, Final Absolutely. Four or impossible final.
Yeah.
Got Kansas against Providence. Kansas, the last man standing of the number 1 seeds, only because they didn't play yesterday at that point. Ed Cooley, we know he's been coaching all week. He coaches in the offseason. Everything's a coachable moment. I'm sure he had his oatmeal this morning, and that was a coachable moment at some point for somebody. Kansas, loaded with talent, every year. Bill Self, he has the resume. But this Kansas team is, they're not unbeatable, that's for sure. 30 wins, pretty amazing to be able to do that. But, like I said, it's not like they beat everybody. And it's not like they're hitting every free throw down the line, and they're not doing, they're good enough. They've been good enough. Providence has been in a lot of tight games this season. They did get blasted by Creighton the last time they lost. They got crushed.
That's true. They're so good in this underdog situation. So good.
For Kansas, it's been almost a month since they lost. They lost by 10 to TCU, and they lost by 10 to Baylor. So there's a formula out there to beat them. But they did beat Creighton, who beat Providence, so.
That's true. This line has come down, though. Opened at 8 for Kansas, was 7.5 before we started the show, now at 7.
I thought Providence game last time out against Richmond was one of the more impressive wins of the tournament. Kind of slides under the radar because it becomes a boring game. But, 79-51, 28-point win. Just an absolute slaughter of a Richmond team that beat Iowa. Imagine what Providence would have done to Iowa.
Yeah, their defense was so stout in that game. It was unbelievable what they were able to do.
I love that in the comments. The YouTube comments always like, well, they beat them and they beat. It's like, really doesn't matter all that much. Because you see, as we've seen, the matchups make the difference, Yeah. And just like, like Houston, Arizona, it's like Arizona just could not run them down. They were just so fast. And it was like Kelvin Sampson just drew it up again.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. I'm going to have to lean on Providence plus the points. I really do think their defense will be able to slow Kansas a little bit and stay tight in this one. I'd love to see them get the upset win. So I don't have a premium in this. So that's where I'm leaning on you guys.
And then the Battle of the Blue Bloods, we got North Carolina, UCLA. This one is really interesting because we had UCLA, who was a Final Four team a year ago. So, a few teams from last year's Final Four remain. The teams that played in the final, Gonzaga and Baylor, both were number ones again this season, and both are out. Meanwhile, UCLA was in the Final Four last year, lost in overtime. Looks like Jaime Jaquez going to go here. So that is a big factor here. He is a really good player. He doesn't always look as graceful as some of these other guys out there, but the team really responds to his style of play. And we've seen Johnny Juzang in the tournament before, and he hasn't really had that kind of tournament yet. Is tonight his night? The North Carolina Tar Heels, we've seen the good and the bad from this team this season. They have, we've seen them, beat Duke. We saw them beat Baylor in a game that, they got reeled in from 24 back or something, right? And they got absolutely reeled in against Baylor. And we saw them lose by 28 to Miami. We saw them lose by 20 something to Wake Forest. Been brutalized, this season.
Yeah, when they lose big.
Yeah, and it's like they're not a great. Someone says here North Carolina can't hit threes. They're 31st best in the nation at hitting threes, over 37%. They're actually better than UCLA at hitting the three. I just think defensively is where Carolina really lacks. They're one of the worst at defending the three in the nation. And I don't know, like I said, I haven't seen that Jaquez and Juzang and Tiger and all. Yeah. It's like they've been there. It's like they know what it takes. Mick Cronin is a horrible coach. He is hideous. And that's why the line is only 2, because he's such a bad coach. He could be. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But that Carolina defense, they are an absolute matador sieve.
I think with how their defense is playing, and then with both of these teams able to hit those threes, I like the over in this one.
I think it's wine time. I think you got the opposite. I think you got it wrong.
Okay.
I think UCLA, if they play fast, they have a better chance. Because North Carolina has a good offense. UCLA can match them pretty much on offense, very, very close. But defensively, Carolina has no answers, while UCLA plays the serious defense.
Mm-hmm. So you think UCLA's defense is going to be able to hold them down tonight?
I think Carolina's going to have problems.
Okay.
I think Manic has played really well for them, hitting from the outside. If you have a big guy that can hit from the outside like that, certainly is a big factor. But I'm not so sure, against UCLA that's going to work.
It'll be an interesting game, that's for sure. This one kicks off at 9:39 Eastern.
Mick Cronin is such a bad coach. He's such a bad coach. Absolutely horrid. Especially in tournaments. Let's just recap the one why I hate him so much. It was that 75-73 loss to Nevada, March 18th, 2018. I was with Larry Outlaw, one of our guys that watches our shows and has been a big fan of this at Hooters. And Cincinnati up by 22 in the second half and lost that game.
Wow.
Outright. Didn't cover. Outright
up
lost.
By 22 going into the second.
Yep. No, they're up by 22 midway through the second. They were up by 12 at halftime.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was 65-45 with 10:48 left to go in the game. They were up by 20. 65-45 with 10:48 left to play.
Sounds like a Southern Miss kind of game.
So since they got it to 65-43 at 11:34 left to go.
Wow.
Yeah. Really went down the toilet on that ugly bitch. That's for sure. Oh man.
You always shock me when you throw things out like that, Mitch. Not expecting it.
That one really hurt.
Oh, I bet it did.
It's just one of those days, everyone that's bet sports has that day where it's like, it's running so bad that you're up by 22 and you're going to lose anyway. It's like
the worst days ever.
Yeah, it's just they happen. They happen to everybody. And then
Put in an X next to it before the game's even done.
And then the final game of the night is the Miami Hurricanes against Iowa State. This one is super, super interesting and probably the most interesting game on the board, not just because of, where I'm from and, my team and all of those things, but Miami has not played well in the favorite role at all this season. They've played really well in the underdog role, but they haven't had this much time to prepare for a game either. And Jim Larinaga is another one of these coaches that, I said to, Brian and Joe in the VIP show yesterday and before and everything, that Musselman, just doesn't get enough credit for just how great of a recruiter he is at Arkansas. And we saw that. And Jim Larinaga doesn't get enough credit for how great of a coach he is. I mean, Miami was leading the ACC most of the season. They beat Duke at Duke. They beat Carolina by 28. We're up by 27 at halftime. They come into this tournament as a 10 seed. Iowa State had 2 wins last year. I thought they were overrated coming into this tournament. I wasn't even sure that they deserved to be in it, but they certainly have proved that they are. I think Miami is a faster Wisconsin, though, who Iowa State beat. I think Miami's a faster Wisconsin. I think they're a better coached Wisconsin, and I think that they have better, just better athletes all the way. I think McGusty is, way underrated, and Wong. I mean, these guys have been hitting their free throws down the stretch as well, and the dunk on over Jabari Smith will be on that one shining moment for sure on that video. One of the best dunks of the entire tournament. The Canes just absolutely smothered Auburn, and I really like the way that at the end of the game, usually when teams kind of take their foot off the gas, Miami didn't do that. They played it all the way to the end. It's kind of like when teams are on in football, when teams take a knee. So Tyree Woods is asking how to join the YouTube Premium. So you're on the Pick Dogs channel. You just click join.
Yeah.
It should be below. Is it Joe? Below the thing?
Yeah, it is. It's just under share next to subscribe.
Yeah, just click join. It's super reasonably priced. We've kicked around getting rid of it a few times. So for now we're still gonna keep it. But I think that in the future, I don't know how much longer it will go.
Yeah,
we'll see. But if the thing is, if we cancel the program, you get a full refund for whatever month you have. So if you use 28 days of your month, you'll get a full month refund if that happens. But I don't know. We've said that for a while, but I don't know. Here we go into baseball season, so we're gonna have it then.
Yay, baseball!
So
get it back.
The total in this one has dropped from 136.5 to 131.5.
It's looking low. It really is.
I like the over.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Mitch, we know that Miami has struggled to cover as a favorite, but has the line been this low in the majority of those games? Because it was 2.5 earlier, now up to 3.
Miami's played in a lot of tight games, just like Providence has. So they were 1-point home dog to Virginia Tech. They did not cover as an 8-point favorite against Boston College. They did not cover as a 2-point favorite against Virginia. They lost that one. They did cover as a 5-point favorite against. So maybe that stat just feels that way because they've been in the dog role so many times this season. It just feels like they've been a dog the whole season.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So against Florida State at home, they were 3-point favorite, exactly this number. They lost by 1. Yeah. They were 1.5-point favorite against Syracuse. They won by 1.
Okay.
So they've been in a bunch of that, but they have covered as 3. North Carolina State, 91-83. And I think that's a similar game to this one.
Yeah.
But here they are, we're 14.5-point against Stetson. 9.5 against Fordham, 17.5 against Lipscomb. So when they're these big numbers. You know,
What
Miami
did they
had,
end up covering against Boston College? Because
no,
they were, what, a 6.5 point favorite in that? They got the win
yeah, they
by
did
what,
not
3?
cover.
Yeah, they didn't cover. But they
Did
did.
not cover. 71-69 in overtime.
Okay.
And then lost to Duke the next time out as an 8.5 point dog, lost by 4. Of course, they beat Duke at Cameron earlier this season in the only other meeting, 76-74, as a 15-point dog, won outright.
Yeah.
And the North Carolina game that was 2 games after that, a 2-point home dog, won by 28.
Wow.
Yeah, 2-point home dog.
Yeah.
Bittler had Carolina in that
28.
one. I had Miami.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
I think I can remember behind the scenes when you guys were talking to that one.
Yeah. It's okay. So I think that one is.
I think he likes to get your blood boiling sometimes.
We look at Iowa State, as well. We need to look at their past results too here, and at the end of the season they knocked off Kansas State, West Virginia, Oklahoma, TCU, lost at home to Kansas State by 6 in overtime, lost to West Virginia, who was lousy this year, by 16. Were absolutely smothered by Texas in Austin, 63-41. I mean, they just smothered them. I remember that game. And then they lost at Baylor and Oklahoma State to end the season. Once again, Oklahoma State used that same Texas diagram to smother them. I'm going to guess Miami's going to use the same one. And I don't know if Wisconsin didn't have enough time to prepare for that or just didn't have the guns to do it, but Miami does. They scored 36 on Oklahoma State, and then they played Texas Tech, who used the same game plan against them again in the Big 12 tournament, 72-41. So it's really been feast or famine for Iowa State this season when teams are able to put that lockdown defense on them. TCU 59-44. So it's like there is a diagram out there to beat this team.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackson State held them to 47-37. And then Iowa ran them out of the building, 73-53. Memphis, they beat, but that was early when Memphis was bad. They beat Xavier. They started the season really strong.
Yeah, they absolutely did. Oh, it's going to be a fun night of games, that's for sure, Mitch. They're running late. Going to be a late one.
James Cozy says Gonzaga and Michigan screwed him. But
I'm sure they screwed a lot of people. Can you imagine those money line bettors on Gonzaga saying it was free money?
I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube comments or not. Like not the chat comments, but like the real comments. There was a guy in there that said, "I'm taking Gonzaga money line." I said, "Well, that's a really stupid bet." And he was like, "Oh yeah, but I'm gonna cash or whatever." And he's like, "Well, Cash App, we'll bet it." I said, "Well, the way that this works is, if we bet $50, if you win, you get $5. If I win, I get $4.50. That's the way that this bet would work." I said, "I'll gladly do it," but he hasn't asked me for my Cash App yet. And so this is the way that always works. So this is why people always like, "I'll bet you all this." The way that betting Mitch always works with the trolls, or not the trolls, but just the heroes, right? The way the hero betting always works is. And a lot of people saw these comments. So the way the hero always works, the hero bet, is that if they lose, then we never hear from them again. If they win, I owe them the money.
Absolutely.
So it's got to, it's like, I don't, that's why I always say my answer is always like, I'm not a sports book,
Yeah.
I'm not a sports book. And that's why I say that, because I know this, it's like, it's not like I haven't, said, okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, I get like how you guys do too. I mean, how do you think I end up with Davidson shirts?
That's funny.
It's supposed to be a hat.
Actually, I still owe Bittler a hat. I gotta send him that Dolphins hat. I always forget.
I got the best Dolphins hat.
You do?
Yeah, my friend John gave it to me from Miami. It's Zubaz.
Oh, that is cool. I remember seeing it now. I like that one. Oh, it suits you.
Yeah,
Got a good brim on it.
not a great look for me, I don't think.
I think it is. I like it a lot.
I don't know. It's kind of dad hattish. Maybe if I wear it back.
Maybe I like dad hats. I don't know. I thought it looked good.
Maybe I'll wear it for golf.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, that'd be good.
I got to get back out there first.
Yeah.
In order to wear a hat on the golf course, I have to go out.
Yeah, absolutely do.
Yeah, I think maybe today's the day.
I hope so. Definitely need to get out there.
I wonder if Rod burnt the Gonzaga hat. He's in the Facebook group. You'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
I told Brian he'd be burning his Gonzaga hat. I wonder if he did.
Yeah, you did. That's for sure.
So, Joe, I mean, obviously we went over these games. I didn't really give any picks because I have premium picks on all of these games. I did videos on half of them. You know, I'll give a little bit away here, not too much. I just think that, I think the St. Peter's, I could see a scenario where they cover. But in general, a lot of people saying money line. You guys know I love a big money line. I'm the guy, right? The extended liner, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what I do. But I think we've seen the clock strike midnight on Cinderella and the Sweet 16 more often than not.
Yeah, I've got to go with St. Peter's plus the points. I hate the number 13. I think it's such an unlucky number. I normally don't like betting on that, but
what is the Facebook group?
The only way I can go with that.
The Facebook group is a group on Facebook that is the Pick Dogs group.
Oh, I thought that was a trick question.
You go on Facebook.
What's the Facebook group?
If you go on Facebook, I think you put in Pick Dogs group, I think it will come up.
Yeah.
I don't participate too much in the group. I have not been participating on Facebook for the last 6 months or so, at all personally or that. Today's show is on Facebook. I think we're going to start broadcasting across more platforms again, just to get out there. But I think that, and plus, I'll be doing the halftimes this weekend, and I want those to be on there as well, and drive-through and stuff. So we'll start doing that, and the betting tools too. I just think these things they're kind of important to get out there, and we haven't really done it. But yeah, I left Facebook for the most part. I'm still, of course, I still have my account and stuff, but it's just they don't protect people. So Twitter automatically rejects any claim that you put in against somebody. So this guy, put in this, this Drew Fox puts in this, creates these fake profiles and stuff yesterday. I mean, there's like 2-year-old. I mean, it's like, it's not even good potty humor. It's like, it's just stupid, right? It's just moronic. And I report the post to Twitter and they say, these don't violate our policy. And they said, reply to this email if you don't agree with us. So I replied to the email. I said, how is this not against policy? And then they write it back. It's like, oh, actually, they are against policy. Yeah. Block the account. It's like, and you have to do that every time. It's like they automatically reject, and then you have to appeal. Doesn't even make any sense. But I'm going to write a letter to the University of Nebraska where he goes to school, and I'm going to include all of his tweets and everything that he's done, and we'll see if he's still a student there. They let him graduate if he is at that point. Yeah.
You'd be kicked off a dating website quicker than you would be any of these social media ones,
for sure.
Like, it's unbelievable what they let people get away with.
The betting tools always have covered first half. Always have covered first half. Question, does the betting tools cover first half? Absolutely. Sports Chat Place, they definitely do.
Yeah.
Definitely. I went over it yesterday on the betting tools show. I showed everyone how to do it.
Yeah, when the trends and streaks are there, there's sometimes, no trend or streaks. So.
Yeah, but not just in the trends or streaks. You can go beyond that. So, all right, you guys baited me in.
There we go. Let's get these betting tools underway.
Baited me in. You got me. Congratulations, Always baiting me in, these people.
Well, at least people are baiting you in for good things, Mitch.
The trolls always bait you and don't respond to them. Like, I'm not afraid of these punks. Are you kidding me? So here are the betting tools. I was just happened to have the dog streaks up. But if you go over to sportschatplace.com, hit the home tab, okay? Now, like Joe said, a lot of times on the streak, so if you're on Pick Dogs and you go to the dog streaks, Normally, the things that are halves and quarters are closer to the bottom. Let me see if there's anything here. The same thing with the so I don't see anything here that's halves or quarters, but on the dog streaks. But I think on Sports Chat on the streaks, I saw some this morning. Sports Chat tools, streaks. So if you go to the streaks at Sports Chat, let's see what they have at the bottom. There it is. So here's Sacramento Kings Q1 road wins. Miami Heat half one. Here's so you can see just in the streaks they have some of this stuff. Here's half one wins Villanova. Half one wins Pelicans. Period one Coyotes. They have that, but the more definitive tool for this is the standings, and you just go here. You just go standings, which is not the standings is it's a tough label, for what it is. I think that's the issue. We talked about this at our meeting the other night. There's really no other way to go with it. But if you go to the NBA, so like here's the NBA standings, and here's just for the Eastern Conference, and below it, of course, is the West. But if you go here, and you need to eliminate some of the categories because you can only have 10 across, and it's just the look of the site. You can't just, it can't just keep going on forever. And that's the only reason that it does that. But if you take off some of these categories on here, let's see. So just click on some of these. So we limited it down to 3 categories, which is fine because we're just going to be adding things. But if you go here, here's the first quarter win percentage, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter stats. So if you just go by that, and then you can go by quarter win percentage, just click here and it'll sort them. These teams are really good. They're really fast starters first quarter. These teams are really slow finishers. The ones that are bad in the fourth quarter, you can flip it. You can invert it the other way. The Pacers, the worst fourth quarter team in the East. They're also one of the worst third quarter teams. Same with that. So here's the halves that you asked right here. Right here. It's under betting, halftime, full-time percentage. And then here's over-under record, and the over-under plus minus to the over-under. So we have totals here, and then here's the against the spread. This was the question that somebody sent me the email saying that they would like to know how much teams cover the spread by or don't cover the spread by on average. We have this right here. So we do have that already. There, boom. Pretty easy.
So much detail over here.
Yeah, there's so much there. It's called standings. Yeah. It's not standings, right? I mean, it happens to have the standings, but there's so much more to it there. Yeah. But I hope that really answers your question. I know that it doesn't, but I can only hope that. Where am I? I can only hope that it, at least points you in the right direction. And then you could spend some time there and kind of do that.
Absolutely. It just loaded with information over there, Mitch. And spent hours on hours just looking through it.
Anyways. Yeah, and next week, the releases on the betting tools. We have several enhancements to the betting tools. And then we have some new betting tools as well. And this will be next week. Awesome. Because next week we release the player pages, which is a super generic term. So I'm glad I can just say it. We're gonna have player pages. I mean, I'd say to all our competitors, just try, knock yourselves out. Bring your checkbook. It ain't gonna matter. You're not gonna be able to do it. It's like everyone loves to copy all my ideas and all my stuff, and it's gonna look like so cheesy and so bad, the stuff that they copy. It's like there's no way they can do it, right? So it's gonna look just so cheesy and so amateur hour, right? It's like the more that they try and copy this, the worse it'll look as bad as some of these other people's videos. Like the people that complain about my videos, right? And then they put out the video with music showing like their phone screen. They don't even talk, just do music showing their phone screen.
Oh, really?
With some pics on it. Yeah. I see people doing it all the time.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, there's
I
like
haven't
this.
seen
There's like
those
this
yet.
app out there. These two troll guys that have this app, and it's like they do these
Yeah.
videos. I mean, they're so bad. I mean,
So they just sit there talking with
I don't
music.
like. So here's my thing with the trolls now. So here's what I've been doing actually is I will call them by their name or whatever, but I will not say what their social media is. I will not say what their anything is. I just say their name and put their picture or whatever. But I will not I won't direct traffic to them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, by like linking or like saying what their profile is. We're not going to give them that kind of publicity. Only the negative side.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Screw you.
Well, if you can't show your face, I really question people who can't show their face.
Well, what they don't know is that, or what they fail to realize is that I'm pretty much, I'm not like a tech expert or anything, but I am pretty strong on internet skills. I could pretty much track you down, whether you think it's by me tracking your IP address or by other means or whatever. Believe me, normally the trolls that think they're the anonymous ones that send me the emails, I always send them a picture of their house. That's usually the one that shuts them up.
Oh, for sure it would.
Here's your house. This is how much. It's like, you don't know who I am. It's like, oh yeah, here's your house. Here's the shithole you live in. Joe, which of these games you looking most forward to seeing tonight?
Which one I'm looking most forward to? Wow, I don't know, Mitch. These are just all going to be so good. I think if I had to pick one, I really want to see what St. Peter's is able to do tonight.
For me, Miami, Iowa State, because my team.
Miami has to win.
As a fan.
Yeah. That will be definitely a good game. Last game of the night. Yeah. And then I'd love to see Providence come out strong too against Kansas. So North Carolina, UCLA doesn't have my interest out of all of these ones. Like out of the four, the least excited one I am.
I'd love as a Miami fan to get a crack at Kansas. I would love to play them. I'd way rather play them than Ed Cooley, and have the two teams that I really like. And I think a lot of this tournament set up that way for me. Like teams that I liked had to play each other, and teams that I didn't like, were playing each other. We had a lot of that in the early rounds of the tournament. But now it's like there's only the good teams left. So except for Gonzaga and Arizona, we're showing the door.
They were. You always feel bad for them, though. I always do. Right? The look at disappointment when they know they've lost in those final seconds. The whole bench. I don't.
It's the whole reason I watch reality television.
Them,
You're talking about the whole reason I watch reality television, to watch someone's heart get tap danced on.
I don't like it, Mitch. I get all upset.
The heartache, the disappointment.
Don't like it.
I think at least in college sports, it's genuine, and I think you see that emotion come out when they lose. Only one team can win. Only one team in the NCAA tournament ends the season with a win. 67 teams go home, with their last game as a loss. Yep. I'm off 90 Day Fiance. I'm off. I used to be on, but now I'm off. I've been off for about 2 years, and I tell you what, I feel a better person for it. I was an original, I used to love it, but it got so staged.
Oh, I meant to send you a new show that was coming out, and I forgot to send you the link.
Temptation Island? No. I've already seen the first 2 episodes.
No, it's about Off the Grid, I think it's called. Grid. It's like a couple put together and they have to live off the grid, right?
Naked and Afraid?
No, not Naked and Afraid, but same kind of premise where
less the vomiting
lives off the grid.
Naked and Afraid, less the vomiting.
Maybe the vomiting.
I could do that.
I don't know.
I could do that.
I saw it and I started laughing. I was like, "Oh, Mitch would probably like this one."
What's all the vomiting?
The preview was this prima donna girl, and she's like, "I can't go to the bathroom in the kitchen," because he lives in this shack of a house, and the toilet's next to the fridge.
So, I thought they're living in the wild. Oh, they're just off the grid. They're just off the grid. Off the grid. Yeah. Huh. Except for the TV production crew.
Yeah, exactly. Running all around them.
Eating pizza, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, probably. So it's probably not as bad as she tries to make out in this little like 30-second
It's like,
preview
but
I
this
saw.
is what you signed up for. It's like, don't you understand what that means?
Yeah.
It's like, haven't you ever?
No.
It's like, well, at least with that show, you've never, you can claim you've never seen it before, but like with a lot of these other shows, it's like we've seen the show before. It's like
Absolutely.
Married at First
So,
Sight. It's like you're going to get married. That's kind of what you signed up for.
yeah.
Married at
So you
First Sight is it's in the title.
exactly. We always see these memes going around, or memes, or whatever they're called, going around like, could you live in this like mansion for 60 days with no outside like world, like no social media, no anything like that? Could you do one of those, Mitch? They always say like for a million, for 5 million, for 10 million, could you live here? Always looks like a beautiful house. But then you'd have no access to the outside world.
So
Would you
what
do
is
it?
it? You get a house that's
Well, it's always those like things that go around like Facebook and that. It's a picture of like a mansion or something. And it's yours plus $1 million if you could go without internet and outside world access for like 60 days.
well, I did
Would
it
you do
during the
that?
COVID, but I had internet.
Yeah.
But I did it
You
without
go without
outside.
internet?
I didn't go without internet, but I went without everything else 60 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I learned about myself?
What?
I hate puzzles. Hate them.
I
Like the
hate puzzles too. I
jigsaw
knew I
puzzles.
liked you.
Oh, it just sucks. I mean, it's like Carrie's like, let's get a puzzle. We're doing the puzzle and we're looking at each other like, this sucks. It's like we both are hating this puzzle. And then it's like, it took us like, it's like ages 4 and up. It's like we're a week and a half into this thing. It's taken over our coffee table. And it's like, we finally get it done. I mean, because just to get this thing off the coffee table and just to get it done, we're missing a piece.
We had a puzzle we tried to start during COVID, and it sat on our kitchen table. We got the border done for a good 60 days before we all just packed it away. No one wanted to do it. It's like, come on, guys.
Hate
No,
puzzles.
we hated it too.
Hate puzzles. We got the Hornets and the Jazz. We've got the Pistons and the Wizards. We've got the Hawks and the Warriors and the Heat versus the Knicks. Some classic battles here. We've got some playoff teams. We've got, tonight's an interesting NBA schedule. We've got some meaningful games. We've got some garbage games. We've got pretty much everything here.
Yeah, and I really doubt too much attention's going to be on the NBA tonight, Mitch. Hard one. So I know I'm not going to be really watching these games. I'll catch highlights after. But if I was going to go anyway with the Utah Jazz and the Charlotte Hornets, I'm going to take the Hornets plus the points. I think this is just a tighter game. Jazz have completely struggled on the road in their last 8, only covering in one of those. So I can't get behind them at this laying 4 points in this one.
Anyways, be sure to smash the like button. I notice we don't have that many likes. I know you guys like us. You claim you don't, but I know you do.
You guys are here every day. You must like us.
Yeah. Smash the like button. Cost you nothing, helps us a ton.
Absolutely. And then I think the Hawks come out strong against the Golden State Warriors. Again, the Warriors haven't been good on the road, especially as of late, and they come in here rested. And a Golden State Warriors team off rest isn't strong. They're 4-10 against the spread the last 14, playing on that 1 day's rest. And the Hawks have been strong against teams with winning road records. So covering in all 7 of their last home games against teams with winning records on the road.
Taking the
I like them
Warriors.
here. You are? You think they're going to get it?
Hawks 0-5 against the West. Favorites.
Okay.
I like the Knicks. They're on a road game heater. Road dog heater. Knickerbockers. Who was my dog of the day yesterday? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. Dog of the day on IG was the... Oh, it was the Cavaliers.
Okay.
They got smoked. All right. Back to the drawing board. I like the Hornets against the Jazz. I like the Jazz that just have not been playing well recently. And I like the Warriors against the Hawks. And the Hawks have been terrible too. They're the 10 seed in the East. I hate the play-in. Hate the play-in. It's like, why? The season is the play-in. The season is the play-in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why does there need to be 4 play-in teams when it's really 2 teams that earned their way into the playoffs?
Yeah. I agree with you.
I could understand the abbreviated season to maybe say that maybe there was a difference or whatever, but this is, this worked for how many years in the NBA? It's enough. And, none of the early round series are ever close anyway. You never see an upset in the first round of the NBA series.
You don't.
Never. Maybe in the second round you'll see it, whatever, but never the first round. Got the Minnesota Timberwolves against Dallas. Oh, man, I took Minnesota the last time out. They played 2 days ago. I was on a conference call, and I was just like, how are the Minnesota Timberwolves going to lose me this game? How is this going to happen? They're up. They've been winning the whole game against the Phoenix Suns. How are they going to get crushed in the fourth quarter? Like, how's it going to happen? Are they just going to lay down and let it happen? Is someone going to get injured? Or is someone going to go off for the Suns? It's like, what's going to happen here? It's like, I look at the thing, 40-24. It's like, what the hell just happened? It's like,
they always seem to let it happen, though.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I loathe the Timberwolves.
I understand your pain with them. That's for sure.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. 3-point favorites here. Screw you, Timberwolves. Yeah, 3-point favorites against a team with a winning record.
Yeah.
My ass. That's what I got to say to that one.
Looking at a higher scoring one in that, I think Timberwolves will make Dallas play a little bit of a faster game. So if I'm going to do anything with that game, go to the over.
Got the Blazers against the Rockets. You want to talk about meaningless basketball games. This is when, I said this in the video, this is when the NBA was big fans of sports betting becoming legal. These were the games that they pointed to. Late in the season, where both teams are eliminated, all of a sudden people care. We always cared. Don't worry, guys. We always cared. But
so, are you confused by this line like I am? Like, why is Houston the favorite here and not Portland at home?
Portland's been sucking.
They both suck.
No, they absolutely suck.
Like, they're both terrible. I looked at this line this morning, and I thought maybe it was my eyes. I was like, what? You're going to give the Rockets laying 3.5 points on the road? I don't know. I can't get there. That's for sure. It just seems odd. I'm going to stay off this game just because that seems so odd. I would have thought, this was a 1-point Portland game, laying 1.
Then we've got the Clippers against the 76ers. You know what I think I'm going to do, Joe? I'm going to put out my 4th pick in college hoops for $15. Just solo play. Just $15. Guaranteed.
I like it.
Guaranteed. $15. I'm going to do that.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, I hate the Timberwolves, so I'm going to take the Mavericks here. They disgust me.
Spite alone.
Yep. The Sixers have been a better road team than home team. The Clippers are a playoff team. With everything. Paul George is practicing now. He's going to be back.
Clippers are my Timberwolves. Hate them.
Wow. Strong words.
I know. Very strong.
You're not supposed to hate anything but jigsaw puzzles.
Okay, as long as we can hate puzzles together, I'll say I strongly dislike the Clippers then.
It's like, what are the things that you really hate in life? It's like jigsaw puzzles, the Timberwolves, Michigan sports, green peppers in any food that's cooked. Raisins.
What about celery?
Raisins.
You dislike celery too then?
Raw celery I'm in, cooked celery I'm out.
Okay.
Unless it like kind of melds in like that New Orleans style cooking where it kind of just, it has to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Trinity, they call it. Onion, celery, carrots.
Yep. Always good.
Yep. It's a good combo. But I don't like soup with celery in it. I'm not a fan.
Oh, so no chicken noodle soup with celery?
No.
My daughter's the same. She picks it out.
Yeah,
I love it.
Of course. Well, you could have mine. I'll put it on.
I end up taking
I'll
everyone.
spit it out and put it on the side of the lake.
Nice.
Here you go. Knock yourself out.
All mine. Thanks, Mitch.
Well, what's up on
man.
Puck and Crazy today?
Oh, Puck and Crazy is going to be fun. Got some great games in the NHL today. We got 5. Neil said he's going to ride Calgary on the puck line. Only caution, Neil, on that is they have Edmonton on deck tomorrow. And then the
Betting
Avs
tools love
next day.
Calgary puck line.
Yeah, but do the betting tools look at that schedule? I think absolutely Calgary should come out and blow the Coyotes out of the water. But with Edmonton tomorrow, scary.
JPZ says all the Rocket starters are healthy and the Blazers are G League players. Rip City, baby. I love saying that.
Yeah.
Rip City. What happened in this USA Mexico 0-0 draw?
Oh, I don't know.
Didn't they expand the World Cup field this year? I'll have to ask the soccer people.
Yeah, I have no clue. It actually started playing this morning. I was, while getting some stuff done, had a bunch of stuff. They're showing highlights. I can't believe those babies with those red cards and the yellow cards, how fast people fall on those fields.
The Flyers are plus 330 and the Coyotes are plus 320. Any chance on either of these, Joe?
Coyotes scheduling reason for Calgary. Calgary, you look at Edmonton, that is huge facing Edmonton tomorrow.
Is that hockey night in
and
Canada
then the
again?
Avs.
Is that the hockey night?
It's Battle of Alberta. Edmonton and Calgary hate each other.
Yeah, Rod hates Calgary. He hates Calgary.
Yeah.
Hates him.
Yeah. And I hate Edmonton. Connor McDavid, crybaby. So, yeah, it's just, that is the one where I look at it and I go, Edmonton didn't look ahead. They beat the Sharks, but I could see Calgary with having to play tomorrow. I can see them having a slower defensive game. So, stronger offensive game, and as long as Coyotes can keep up, which they've been averaging high, they have a chance. And then Colorado, when you look at Colorado, they have to face Calgary on, I think it's Monday that Calgary and Colorado play again. And Colorado beat them last time out. But I wonder who I don't know who they have on deck tomorrow, Colorado. Colorado is off tomorrow. And then on Sunday they play. Oh, they don't play Sunday. Oh, yeah, they do. They play the Wild on Sunday, which is another hard team. I think is Fleury going to make his debut on Sunday? If so, it's going to be a fantastic game. So Coyotes and Philly could both be in prime spots to get an underdog win tonight.
Putting together a 16 parlay here to close it out. See, this game is tomorrow, so we can just switch it out. We're going to have tennis there instead. I tell you, the tennis tools have been fire. Oh, this is going to be an all tennis parlay.
I need to follow tennis more. People love it. I used to watch it, but I just haven't as of late.
Well, as it turns out, this parlay pays 262 to 1. I'm taking Kalinina versus Keys. I'm taking Momfields minus 4.5 plus 117. No idea what it even means, but I'm in. Got McDonald plus 133. Mackenzie McDonald has won each of his last 6 ATP men's draw matches against older opponents. Whoa, a little ageism there. Nice. A lot of people out there, a lot of my fans will appreciate that one. Sonego minus 3.5 at even money. Throwing the Pistons minus 3.5 against the Wizards. And Roos plus 250. Eleni Gabriela Roos has won 5 of her last 6 WTA main draw matches against younger opponents. Take that. Wow.
That's quite the parlay, Mitch.
Yeah.
I like it.
$10 pays $262 2,622.60. It's 262.26 to 1.
Wow.
How about you, Joe? What do you like?
So for just a 2-team hockey parlay, I would put the Flyers and the Coyotes on the puck line, parlay those up, sprinkle on that money line for them. And then for my main parlay, I do Providence plus the points, the over between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then I got to take the Hawks laying the points there.
Nice. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Let's make it a winning day. And I'm going to try and talk more about sports tomorrow when we have all of our guests are with us. I'll be on my best behavior, I promise. We're going back to the round table style that we started again last week with all the cappers on at the same time, kind of a group discussion without talking over one another.
I think everyone's been pretty good at not talking over each other.
Yeah,
I've controlled myself a little bit.
It's fun. I enjoy it. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day.